What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, thank you for 500 subscribers. Man, what a journey it has been so far. We are halfway there to 1,000. Thank you guys for all of the support that you've shown this weekend. But we are nowhere close to done yet. So just keep them coming, guys. We're almost there. I believe that we can do it. As far as this video goes, today I'm going to be predicting who will dethrone every WWE champion right now in the WWE current day. So basically this is all I think. Who will eventually beat this champion for the title, and I will explain why. As usual, a quick disclaimer: if you guys disagree with anything I say, anything at all, please let me know down in the comments who you think might dethrone each of these champions, what you disagree with, anything. So without further ado, let's get straight into this awesome video. Cue that intro. Let's start by predicting the women's tag team titles division. Now, if you're asking me, the reason why I'm saying this first is because it's by far the least most prestigious title in the entire WWE right now. I mean, obviously, I thought that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were going to make this title more significant, but if anything, it's just dragging at this point. I don't even know why it's still a title. And on top of all of that, like, there aren't really many great options to dethrone the unholy union right now with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, but I do have a good educated guess. I think that it is going to be Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Look, their whole faction that they got going on with Sonya Deville, I think it's great. I think that their feud with Damage Control will be good. I mean that match is inevitable. But I mean, Io Sky doesn't really need the tag team titles. It could go to like Kairi Sane or Dakota Kai. But I just like that their characters right now are on fire. Like, they're one of the main things in the tag team division right now. Probably bigger than the champions themselves, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. So that match is definitely inevitable. They could have like maybe a #1 contenders match. Maybe Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, or maybe if Asuka comes back, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. But either way, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler will win that match, and they will go on to beat Alba Fire and Isla Dawn for the women's tag team championships. Again, there's not really a lot in the division right now, so this is the best that I can think of. Next up, let's talk about the World Tag Team Championships. Again, like, overall, with the Triple H era, with his booking and everything, there aren't really a lot of options. The current champions right now, obviously, are the Judgment Day, JD McDonough, and Finn Balor, and I have them holding the titles for at least until the Royal Rumble. I don't see them losing anytime soon, considering that they're on amazing heel characters right now. And obviously Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest aren't gonna dethrone them, but they will have something to do with them losing the titles. I'm not sure if they're gonna cost them the titles, distract them, do whatever. I think that it is going to be the guys that beat the Judgment Day in the first place, JD McDonough and Finn Balor. I have Sami Zayn and Jey Uso dethroning the Judgment Day here, considering, well, the fact that they were talking about going for the Judgment Day's tag team titles, and, you know, Sami being a double champion, even though I don't think he's going to beat Braun Breaker, I still think it will make sense that they are the ones to dethrone them. Maybe at Bash in Berlin, maybe at Bad Blood. again, or maybe like as I said, the Royal Rumble. I don't know, but Jey Uso and Sami Zayn will eventually win it. Like, you know, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, we both know they don't need the tag team titles, but you know, this is the time where, you know, good characters like these, they could be doing some side quests, you know, and that'll be a way for Finn Balor to get out of this tag team title reign and go in feud with Damian Priest. So, you know, they could potentially have their match at WrestleMania, which I may be coming out with the early WrestleMania 40 match card prediction. You guys could stay tuned for that. But, again, Finn Balor needs to get out of this reign. Even though I love the tag team of JD McDonough and Finn Balor, he needs to get out of this reign so he can properly be inserted into that feud with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Plus, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso deserve it. My only concern is that how they have not given Jey Uso his singles title. They just have him winning tag team titles. You know, he won with Cody Rhodes last year. Now he's going to win with Sami Zayn. Although I do like it. But he will eventually win the Intercontinental title. I'm calling it now. But for now, it is Sami and Jey Uso's time. Alright, next up, let's wrap up the tag team titles, and now let's talk about the WWE tag team titles. The current champions right now are obviously Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. I mean, it should have been Tama Tonga and Tonga Lua. You know, Tonga Lua, you know, he was out with injury. Overall, his character, I don't know why they brought in Tonga Lua. I mean, it was perfectly fine with just Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. You don't need two guys with the word Tonga in it. Just a little funny thing to throw out there. As for these tag team titles, again, like, besides DIY, there's not really a lot of competition. I mean, the tag team division is way better on SmackDown than on Raw. Good God, by the way. But, you know, just overall, I mean, the tag team titles have just been a mess right now. They have just been, they had the first holders just have the shortest reign I've ever seen. But remember what I said about side quests? Because I think that is exactly what's going to happen with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. I mean, Cody Rhodes will still have the undisputed title, but you remember how I said side quest? Well, he was doing the exact same thing about around this time last year, and who is a better partner for him than the guy who has literally saved him from the bloodline multiple times, even though they are going to face at Bash in Berlin, which will be a huge respect moment. It'll be Kevin Owens. That and, you know, Randy Orton is going off in the world title picture, which I completely agree with, but I don't think he's going to beat Gunther. But, you know, if he wins, he'll be transferred to Raw. Gunther will come to SmackDown, all that stuff. You already know. But, I don't think they're going to hold the titles for too long. I think they'll win them at Bad Blood, and, you know, they will eventually lose them to somebody like the Street Profits or DIY again. But, you know, just, I see this is really the only obvious option. You know, again, there's not really a lot of guys. I mean, the Bloodline already beat DIY, and the Street Profits have just been dragging as a tag team lately. Same with the New Day. But just, I mean, again, this was the only real good option. They were doing this exact same thing last year. Why not do it again this year? Alright, why don't we predict the U.S. title first? And, you know, we're going to go mid-card titles next. So we'll have this, then the Intercontinental title. Right now, obviously, the holder is LA Knight. And right now, I don't see him losing to anybody except for one guy. And this is not going to be until WrestleMania. I think that Carmelo Hayes will dethrone LA Knight, considering that his character is nice, a nice little young guy that's going around, he's getting a little cocky and stuff. I know he's been losing a lot to Andrade, which I don't agree with. I think he should have taken one of those. But, you know, again, there's just nobody else. You got an aging Bobby Lashley, an aging AJ Styles. It could potentially be Santos Escobar, but let's be real, he's not like title ready yet. You still want to do that feud with Apollo Crews and everything, but I don't see LA Knight dropping the title until WrestleMania, which I think that Carmelo Hayes is gonna get his push. Again, considering that his heel character is really on point right now. I think they have something going with him. But just overall, not much to say about this one. SmackDown. This is honestly, the reason that they don't have a lot is partially the reason why SmackDown is not doing as good as Raw right now. But, anyway, Carmelo Hayes will dethrone the champion LA Knight, and honestly, for me, there's no dispute about that. Alright, next, we got the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this is a different case. This one has a much more options. You got Chad Gable. You got potentially one of the members from the Wyatt Six. You got Ludwig Kaiser. You have Ilya Dragunov. Again, I don't see Braun Breaker dropping the title until WrestleMania 41. But I think, for me, this is who I have. And don't go crazy on me, please. I think that this is where Sheamus finally wins the title. Sheamus could continue this rivalry, potentially get a shot at Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. But it'll all eventually end with Sheamus getting the upper hand on Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. Again, Braun Breaker, having the rematch with Sami Zayn. They're both going to be doing their own thing for a little bit until that WrestleMania season eventually comes, where they'll be going down each other's throat. Maybe I can even see it being a triple threat match with Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker, and Sheamus, but ultimately it will all end with Sheamus finally winning the Intercontinental Championship, where I think he has an open challenge the next night on Raw, where he will lose to somebody maybe calling up from NXT, maybe Trick Williams. He'll be called up from NXT at this time, considering that the draft is like right around the time where WrestleMania is. But I think that's where Sheamus finally has his farewell thing. He's had a great career, so might as well give him at least one more title before he goes. Alright, now we're getting to our world titles. Let's start with the WWE Women's Championship. The current champion right now is Nia Jax. I think there may be a couple options. For now, Nia Jax, may keep feuding with Bayley. But I think the end-all, be-all will eventually be Nia Jax versus, I'm sorry, but Charlotte Flair. They will eventually be feuding, maybe until Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, but I think that we hear her music. Tiffany Stratton will cash in her Money in the Bank contract, and she will be the next WWE Women's Champion. I think that there's still a lot of time for friction to be created between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, which by the time that Nia Jax is eventually feuding with Charlotte Flair, then Tiffany Stratton will make her move. She will pin Charlotte Flair to do it and win the Women's Championship. I'm sorry. Charlotte Flair is eventually going to Ric Flair's record. I'm sorry to burst everybody's bubble, but it's going to happen, so we might as well get used to it. But not before Tiffany Stratton finally wins a world title, which I think she totally deserves, by the way. Her character is on fire. She's one of the most athletic women's wrestlers I've ever seen. Since Bianca Belair, who I think could potentially get one more shot and then feud with Jade Cargill, because that feud is inevitable. But the end-all, be-all will be Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax and winning the WWE Women's Championship. Alright, wrapping up the women's titles, now we got the Women's World Championship. The current champion right now is, you already know, Liv Morgan. And I think there's really only one option right now. Nothing happens. No other women's title changes hands. No, Liv Morgan will not lose to anybody unless it is Rhea Ripley. She's gonna get the title back eventually. It's probably gonna be at WrestleMania, but nothing will happen until Liv Morgan loses to Rhea Ripley. This is the only option. The only other person that I can see maybe dethroning Liv Morgan is Zelina Vega, but I think they're waiting for her push to happen until maybe the WWE creates a women's mid-card championship. I'm not sure, but no one else besides Rhea Ripley is going to dethrone Liv Morgan, and it'll add more and more and more heat to this rivalry, which is already cooking, by the way. Goodness. But Rhea Ripley will eventually win it back, and she will once again be on top. Alright, next up we have the World Heavyweight Championship. And obviously the champion right now is Gunther. And to my surprise, this one probably took the longest time to decide. I don't know who is gonna dethrone Gunther. Maybe it could be Seth Rollins sometime down the line. You know, Seth Rollins could win it at Survivor Series, and then CM Punk could win the Royal Rumble, and then they'll feud. But either way, CM Punk and Seth Rollins is happening at WrestleMania 41. But don't panic. Nobody panic when I tell you this. This is where Cena finally wins his 17th. It makes sense. You know, JBL and Gunther have a very similar character. You know, John Cena hates champions like this. You know, John Cena is the main reason why he'll be even... But Gunther is the main reason why John Cena will even be going for the world title, because Gunther is the one wrestler, the character that John Cena hates the most. Gunther could say the same thing about John Cena. So it really only makes sense. And plus, John Cena is going to win his 17th world title eventually. So everyone's going to either accept it or not watch wrestling anymore. I'm sorry. And it could... I don't know who will beat John Cena for it. I think he's going to carry it into WrestleMania 41, where his last opponent will be. I'm assuming that it's going to be Randy Orton, or maybe Cody Rhodes. Who knows? Maybe John Cena could beat Gunther at Survivor Series, then go on and lose the title at Elimination Chamber, where he could lose the title in the Elimination Chamber to someone like Seth Rollins, where CM Punk will attack Seth Rollins at the Elimination Chamber, signaling that, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, signaling that he has been chosen, and then John Cena will go on to face maybe Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, while he's helping Cody Rhodes fight the Bloodline. But eventually, John Cena will dethrone Gunther, and I think that's really the right choice for now. And finally, we have the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, there are really a couple options. I think it comes down to really two options. I think it either comes down to Randy Orton. That feud is inevitable. It's gonna happen eventually. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, that is the end game for, this whole thing that they go on with Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. Maybe there's no way that Randy Orton loses that feud, but I think that this is what I'm going with. He's gonna lose to a Bloodline member again. He's eventually. But I don't think it's Roman Reigns. I don't think it's Solo Sikoa. I don't even think it's Jacob Fatu. I think it's going to be The Rock. And it's going to add a lot of heat to that Roman Reigns and Rock match at WrestleMania 41, which is inevitable, by the way. It will happen. And which I am super excited for. But The Rock sometime down the line, most likely at the Royal Rumble, is going to dethrone Cody Rhodes. You could have maybe The Rock eventually coming back at War Games, Survivor Series, to confront Roman Reigns about, the holder of the Tribal Chief. Maybe he could expose Solo. I'm not sure. But he will come back eventually and look for a fight with Cody Rhodes, which he said eventually he will come back and he will take that title, which I do think he will, and he'll carry it into WrestleMania 41 and face Roman Reigns for that inevitable once-in-a-lifetime match, which I think that Roman Reigns should win. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so every subscriber helps me out a lot. I'm trying to get monetized very soon. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. We should do videos like this more often, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, I'll see y'all guys the next time I upload. Peace.